I used to think, oh, I have to respect my children's individuality. I'm not going to force them to meditate with me because this is my religion. But then when I started to see what a hard time my family was having, just being a step family, trying to get along, dealing with the stresses at school, dealing with the stresses of living in a very speedy and neurotic and go society, I realized here I'm giving myself this tool to develop peace inside myself as I go through life, yet I don't give it to them.
Hey.
Are we ready to show air?
Weapon is not it's not, I think meditation is not really a weapon, but to be able to give the shield of meditation for a child to take into life is, or the practice of Dharma, not only meditation itself, is one of the greatest protection for a child to grow up, and not only to protect themselves, because I think when a child can embody the Dharma, then that Dharma radiates, and many others, his friends, his class, his society, will benefit.
Okay, so just feel what fire feels like to you at this moment, and then let go of your thoughts. Enjoy your empty space, your empty paper. Just for a moment, empty your mind.
En een van de dingen die ik sowieso heel erg mooi vind om daarmee te beginnen is de openheid die we allemaal hebben. Want ik denk dat hier in het delen wat we hier al in de kinderretretten, in de familieretretten gehad hebben, er komen al mensen van 3 verschillende leraren bij elkaar. En iedereen staat enorm open en iedereen wil heel graag weten, zowel van ons, van hoe doen ze het bij jullie, maar ook van onze kant uit naar hun, van hoe doen ze het hier. Want ik geloof dat oefenen binnen het gezin en met het gezin en met de kinderen staat nog heel erg in de kinderschoenen, als het ware.
It can be hard not to lose your temper when you're angry. Here the sister took her big brother's football, and so he's going to hit her over the head with a spoon. If you talk to a child and you say, they always say to me, I say, how was your meditation? Their first meditation, they say, oh, it's so peaceful. And it's tempting to think, oh, ha, silly child, Obviously they didn't get it, But now I realize, no, they actually did have a peaceful session because it's just no big deal for them. They're so much closer to meditative awareness than adults are. This is your mind in its natural state. It's clean, it's clear, and it's very, very good. Now the children are going to help me put some thoughts into our mind. And who wants to help me put some happy thoughts in with these sparkles? Okay, here is some silver stars that we'll put in. These are for our wishes. What do you hope for? Adults are so complicated in their minds that they don't see the simple truth of just quite simply that letting go of thoughts, coming back to the breath, being in the present moment. You ask a child to do that, and they do it. You ask an adult to do that, and they have, however many, 10, 20, 30, 40 years of habitual pattern, thinking pattern to let go of. Put a really angry thought in. Okay, but this time you have to make a suggestion.
One day she received a ball in her head and she had lots of anger, so she'd like to put it in the pot.
Oh, okay, good. That's a very good one.
Okay. Elle va mettre dans le pot sa colère.
You have to have an angry thought. Who has a suggestion, an example?
Qui est-ce qui se met en colère des fois ici?
Maybe we could ask, has anyone ever done something not good?
Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un, un jour, qui n'était pas bien et qui s'est mis en colère?
In our house, we brush our teeth and we meditate to clean our heart and mind. And we just do that every day as an exercise. So I told them this isn't a religious thing. This is just a self-care regimen that our family does in order to get along well. And I tell them, you know, if you don't brush your teeth, they stink and nobody wants to be around you. And if you don't clean your mind, you stink and nobody wants to be around you. Because you get depressed or you get angry or you get selfish and mean. Just because you didn't stop and slow down and be peaceful for a minute. Our mind is looking not so clear. Now look what happens to our mind that has a lot of thoughts in it and we're in a hurry, we're rushing. Now look what happens when this mind stops moving. This is what happens when we meditate and we stop moving. First it slows down, the thoughts are slowing. The water is slowly beginning to clear. If we leave this sitting long enough, the water will be perfectly clear again. Normally when I do this with children, it's completely clear by now, but I think we put too many angry thoughts in. And, you know, perhaps that is the most important point about how meditation helps children as well as adults, is that in our society, nobody ever teaches us how to let go. We only learn how to get and hang on. Nobody ever teaches how to really let go. So with meditation, every time you notice that you're thinking, you let go of your thoughts, you come back to the breath. Then you notice you're thinking, you let go of your thoughts, you come back to your breath. That's building the letting go muscle in a very profound way.
You have to sit calmly.
Can you say that louder?
You have to sit calmly.
That's the hardest part. We have to sit calmly. Very, very difficult. Okay? Go.
Merci.
Notice how the feeling in the whole room changed so much in that 1 minute, just like our jar, which is still trying to get clear.
En waarom ben je helemaal hierheen gekomen?
Ja, omdat papa doet het ook heel vaak. En deze keer mocht ik mee. Omdat het de familieretreat is, hè. Dan moet je je kinderen wel meenemen.
Ik neem het natuurlijk mee, omdat het voor mij, ik vind het belangrijk in mijn leven. Het zijn belangrijke dingen waar ik in de loop van mijn leven voor gekozen heb om me daarmee bezig te houden.
Die dubbel fris?
Ja. Nou, je ziet wel waar hij voor komt. Dat is dus het korte termijn geluk, maar ook belangrijk.
Ik krijg een dubbel fris.
Dalai Lama always says there are two kinds of happiness. Two kinds of happiness. One happiness based on material comfort. That means toys and things like that. Sweets and all these things. This is the one kind of happiness. Another happiness is what is called peace of mind. When your mind is at peace, when you're happy inside, when you're well inside. Which of these is more stronger? If you have really the deep inner peace, because you see material things like toys, you have them for a little while, but then what happens is this. After one toy, then you know what happens is, after a while you're just bored with it, then you get another toy. And another. That means it's not really, it temporarily amuses you, but it doesn't really amuse you for. If it really makes you happy, then with that one toy, moment you see that toy, you should be happy. You don't even have to play with it. That doesn't mean that you cannot have toy. You can have toy also. That's fine.
En als ik naar mijn leven kijk, de babyboom, hè, ik ben van 57. Ja, dan zie ik dat niet alleen die periode in de samenleving, maar ook mijn persoonlijke hebberigheid of gerichtheid is, en dat is een van de moeilijkste dingen om vanaf te komen, heb ik gemerkt, als je het over verslaving, om dingen hebben. Nou, als dan, de als-dan redenatie. Als ik dit heb, dan. Als ik die vrouw heb, of als ik een kind heb, of als ik zoveel geld verdien, of ik dit en dat. En dat is eigenlijk een rode draad in mijn leven, wat ik ook gereflecteerd zie in de waarden en normen van onze westerse samenleving. En ik zou heel graag willen, de tijd dat ik er nu mee bezig ben en ik minder gehecht ben daaraan. Ik zou willen dat Sam niet die hele toestand hoeft door te maken, maar dat hij van jongs af aan al minder gehecht is aan dingen die er echt niet toe doen.
Like, for example, what really brings you happiness is the love of your parents or people, see, something much more deeper. And most important thing is discovering and love in yourself and happiness of your mind. Because happiness and love, all these things are in ourselves.
Het heeft met korte en lange termijn doelen te maken. Van verlies je niet in het korte termijn bevrediging voor lange termijn benefit. Voor iets wat op een lange termijn echt iets oplevert. En als ik naar mijn leven kijk, en naar mijn ouders, met alle respect, en in mijn omgeving, dan zijn we heel erg gericht op korte termijn bevrediging. Of het nou is drugs, seks en rock'n'roll. En ik voel dat is niet waar het over gaat. En het Tibetaans boeddhisme onder andere biedt is een lange termijn visie en de mogelijkheden om dat tot stand te brengen. Nou, als ik daar Sam dat aan kan bieden, dan ben ik tevreden man als ik sterf. Wat jij zegt, misschien een wortel, een rode wortel maken.
Ja, ergens ver. En daar gaat hij ook.
If I plant carrots, I will receive carrots, not potatoes. So, if I kind, maybe the other people are kind with me. But if I beat after, maybe I receive not something kind.
It sounds so obvious, eh?
Yes, but I think that we know this, but we don't think enough about this. All the people can say, oh, this is not new concept, we know very well. But we don't put attention, we don't try to meditate in this concept. And so, Amélie, how do you feel?
Bored.
Bored, okay.
Un peu ennuyée, elle est un peu ennuyée.
And Dorje,
Comment tu te sens?
do you have some feeling?
Est-ce que tu as des sentiments?
Un petit peu fatiguée, je me sens.
A little bit tired.
We discovered that in normal school there were many problems about attention, interest, creativity, aggressivity, a lot of aggressivity, and not memory, not interest, so not concentration. So we decided to do something, to try to help the children in some way.
Because Lama Yeshe was the one who started the university.
Yes, he would like to have a new education because he understood that it was important to join science and religion, spirituality, because generally we divide. And it's not a good, it is not complete the education if we do this. It's important that there is integration. And if I ask, how do you feel now?
Good.
Si elle lui demande comment
And
tu te sens maintenant,
where is your feeling?
Inside.
Inside,
À l'intérieur.
inside the body.
À l'intérieur
Where?
du corps. Où ça?
Can you show? Can you show me where? Inside the leg? Here, in this part. We try to help the children to go inside themselves and to discover their inside, because we are convinced that generally in the school the children know only how is the reality outside them, not inside. And if you want that they have a complete personality, it's necessary that you develop both hemispheres of the mind, of the brain, not only rationality and analysis, but also creativity, intuition, synthesis, and both are important. You draw one biscuit, and after you draw...
Du meinst einen Keks
Und dann malst du die Geschichte vom Keks.
These are all biscuits.
This is a biscuit and with salt on it.
Okay, and after, what there is inside? What do you remember?
Und woher kommt das Salz?
You repeat the elements. The concept of interdependence, the concept of subjectivity of perception is very important, because if we understand that every person perceives the reality in a different way, maybe we can accept also different opinions, and we don't fight if the other people are thinking in different way. And so we can develop tolerance. And I think in this period is very important.
Keep your eyes open and try to see an ice cream, a big ice cream in front of you. Try to imagine it. I saw a strawberry ice cream, but the ice cream you saw, is it the same ice cream your classmates saw? Yes. Exactly the same? Yes. Did you see a strawberry ice cream? No.
After, another important concept, according to me, is to understand the law, cause and effect. Because we know that every word, every thought, every action come back like a boomerang. And fast or late, we must have this result. So if we teach this kind of subject, the children maybe become more responsible.
These children are also tasting a huge ice cream. At the third month of the scholastic year, subject matter has already been explained by the teacher. Now we check in order to see if the concept of the subjectivity of the internal experience somehow has been acquired.
Was your ice cream the same as his? No. You sure? Yes. Why wasn't it the same? Because she imagined it in a way. Do you know in which way she imagined it? No. Do you know the way you imagined it? Yes.
We had a good result, and because in India we try to repeat the same experience done in Italy, but in a scientific way. So our children, there is one psychologist that check the children when they arrive, during the year, at the end of the year, and we did this from the beginning until now. And we have one group outside, and so we compare the result of the test, because in other way you can show that you are improving. So we compare the result, and the results are very good.
A little bit of a flame, a bright light at night, when it is dark and you are in fright.
And what do I do for you? When you're thirsty,
Quand t'as soif,
what do you do?
qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Je prends de l'eau.
She drinks water.
You drink me.
Tu me bois.
Allez.
Getting more grown up now. You're older and you're not little babies anymore. And part of growing up is you leave your babyhood and your little kidness behind. So I want each of you to think about what it means to be growing up and getting older, and what kind of activities are you ready to give up? What kind of baby behavior are you willing to give up today? It's really to help the parents let go of their children and give them, a new role. In our society, there isn't anything that marks the transition from babyhood and always being a whiny toddler, who, mommy, get me this, mommy, I want that, mommy, to being an independent child who's actually helpful to the parent. About the only transition we have is they start to go to school, So then parents feel, oh, they've been in school all day, so I'll baby them when they get home, And so as a result, we're creating a whole society of kind of whiny, dependent, selfish people. Mm-hmm. And the children don't get the self-esteem of knowing that they're being useful. So they never get the confidence that comes from being relied upon. So that's the whole purpose of the rites of passage. Is
de ranger ma chambre. She's going to clear her bedroom.
But have a bath more often.
Have a bath more often. That's good, and then you won't stink. Usually in Boulder we have 6 weeks to think about this and work on it, and now I'm just telling you, and you have to do it. So I apologize. It has a dual purpose. One is, to create a change within all of the family relationships. And usually I have a meeting with the families before the rites of passage begins, so that the family is preparing that everybody's relationship is going to change to each other by the time we've been through our 6-week program. Mm-hmm. And the changes are happening at home. They're giving the child more and more, responsibility. They get to scrub out the toilets and do some of the tough things, and the parent gets to rely upon them more. And at the same time, maybe they're given a little more freedom, that they've earned it, and a little more respect.
Well, I always want to look perfect if I get out of the house, and then my parents say van, yeah, come on, we just go to my grandmother or something, and you don't have to look great. And then I am still an hour busy to look great. So I think that's what I'm gonna draw.
Okay, I love it. So you can draw a cartoon before and after?
Yeah.
Okay.
En wie ben jij?
Ik ben nu het coole iemand, maar misschien dat ik kan proberen om dus zeg maar niet er perfect uit te zien. Als je gewoon even de deur uitgaat of een keer zonder je haar uitgebreid te doen naar school gaan, zoiets. Dat is wel moeilijk op zich, hoor.
C'est très un bordel.
Et maintenant tu vas changer ça?
Je suis pas sûre. Ça va être très dur.
And then the other aspect of rite of passage is to formally give the children the meditative tools, because they are being out in the world more and more on their own. So we want to say, here, you need this. As you're out there, here you go. Try cultivating a peaceful place inside of yourself, so that as you're out in the world, you can walk with peace and make wise decisions. As a warrior, I will be kind to myself.
As a warrior, I will be kind to myself.
Okay. And as a warrior, I will be kind to others.
As a warrior, I will be kind to others.
The warrior's way is fearless and gentle.
The warrior's way is fearless and gentle.
And then we bow. Before Trungpa made his will, he developed the Rites of Passage program and worked very closely with us students because he recognized that there was a problem. He really saw that in Tibet, children are really given big jobs and they're relied upon and they're much more self-sufficient and independent and confident. So he said, let's develop this whole set, this whole set of classes and this graduation ceremony to help them break away and to help the parents give their child a more responsible role. So we developed that. Then, a few years later, he died. And in his will, he only said one thing. He said, obviously, I hope that, you will continue my work and, help the Dharma to flourish in the West. But there is just one thing, and that is that raising the children in a Buddhist fashion is the most important thing. And that they should be given these gifts from their parents and from their teachers. And that they should be surrounded by the peace and the wisdom of Buddhism. So, and it's kind of sad because a lot of his students just don't hear that. They came to Buddhism because they want peace and quiet, and so they regard the children as kind of annoying. They don't want the children to be in the shrine room meditating with them because they run around and they're irritating. So, that's been a problem in our community, and that's something that's kind of one of my big goals in life is to get my Dharma brothers and sisters to stop thinking that meditation is to help me and start thinking that meditation is to help us, all of us, and that that real generosity and real patience and all of the paramitas that the Buddhists gave us is about extending that to everyone in our world.
Wilt u dvd's bestellen van onze programma's? Bel dan 040 282 0022. Wilt u meer weten over onze uitzendingen? Vraag dan nu de gratis programmagids aan. Bel 035 629 3191 of kijk op www.boeddhistischeomroep.nl.